Hey there, everyone. It's Scurvy back with another episode of Scurvy Shit. Listen, oh my goodness. What the fuck do we have here today? Oh, wait. I know who we're dealing with. It's Dylan Mulvaney. And there have been other people who have described this thing. I don't even know what mythological creature to compare this to, because even if I did such a thing, I think it would upset that mythical creature in question. But as I was saying earlier, I think Matt Walsh described this guy best. He is creepy and eerie. I mean, just look at the way he stares into your soul. I mean, that's totally not a case of crazy eyes right there. Then also, even underneath all that take-up, there's still the 5 o'clock shadow. These people are not good at hiding that shit at all. No matter how much surgery they get, it's still noticeable. And not to mention, look at the shoulder right here. That's not what a lady's shoulder looks like. That's a man's shoulder. Trust me, I've been around skinny guys before. That's exactly what a shoulder from one of those guys would look like. But say, do you want to know what he reminds me of the most? And I have a little theory of mine that this is him from over 12 years ago. You guys remember Smile Dog? This is him now. He actually learned how to stare into one's soul. Unlike this one where, it's just kind of looking not at you, a little camera shy. But now, oh boy, just looking at this image, it's a lot more terrifying than this one. This one gave me nightmares as a kid. This image gives me nightmares now. Because it is trying to resemble something that it can never be. Dylan, you will never be a woman. That is the fact. But anyways, not to mention the fake blonde hair. I know what he's trying to pull off here. He's so desperately trying to come off like one of the hot blondes that were in cinema back in his day. But he just can't pull it off. The fact that he was nominated for a Streamy, it's also kind of telling about just how far fallen the entertainment industry has become. Oh boy. Honestly, this is more aesthetically pleasing to look at than this. But anyways, we have another picture of this thing. Look at this. Masculine jawline. I think this is even before he got his fucking, jaw changed to look more ladylike. But in reality, it actually looks even more eerie than if he didn't get it surgically changed. But in this picture, there's still the jawline. There's still the creepy smile. And this whole getup is just an insult to chicks with flat chests. It really is. I got nothing else to say on this other than that it's insulting. And hey, Scurvy's the type of guy who doesn't mind, flat-chested women. What I do mind is some guy who thinks he could be that because he's a skinny theater dude. Oh, and by the way, this is the first image that came to my mind when I saw this face right here. This creepy Knuckles bootleg toy. This is a bootleg of Knuckles the Echidna from Sonic the Hedgehog. This is a bootleg of a woman right here. Because he's not a woman. Just like how this is not Knuckles. Last time I saw Knuckles, he did not have those creepy looking eyes and that weird smile. And last time I saw a chick, which was last night at the time of recording this, she did not have the jawline and 5 o'clock shadow of a man. Let's get back to this creepy image right here. I'm going to give you guys nightmares. That's how much I care about you guys. I'm giving you guys nightmares. But honestly, there's a reason why Walsh calls you creepy and eerie, and I think the rest of the Daily Wire crew would agree with him in that regard. I'm also hoping those guys agree with me that this is the better photo of old Dilly compared to now. Anyways, let's get back to sober Scurvy. Hey, drunk Scurvy from a few months back. So, let me explain my history with this guy. I first learned about him through Odin's Men's content, as well as through Matt Walsh. Though the majority of things that I found creepy from Old Dilly were primarily from Odin's Men's commentary videos. The first time I saw that guy, I immediately knew that something was very, very off. Now, let's get into the reasons why I fucking despise this guy. My first reason is, and to quote Matt Walsh, he is creepy and eerie, and to me, he looks like a caricature of a person. I have seen so many memes about this guy, one of which you're seeing on screen, and they're all fucking hilarious. Those memes expertly show the pattern that no matter what a troon does to try to quote-unquote pass, they never will, because there's something that will always give them away that they're not the sex they delude themselves into believing. Though he's not the first to be pushing the trans insanity, he is certainly one of the most notable people who do so. I know I'll be called crazy for this by some lefties, but is it me, or has the trans nonsense just exploded because of how quickly it could proliferate through platforms like TikTok and influencers like Old Dilly? With all the degeneracy that TikTok is pushing, the worst of it easily has to be the trans insanity. The second one is, well, everything about feminism. Old Dilly is surely one of the best feminist allies there is, because he knows what it's like to be a woman. I'm sorry, I mean girl. That's very weird to call yourself, an adult man, a girl. Totally not a fetish, not one bit. Though, I just have one little question I want to ask. To society at large, why the fuck is a deluded man selling chicks tampons? Holy shit, I remember seeing that commercial for the first time and I was just thinking, what the fuck am I looking at? This is like pure Buffalo Bill type shit right here. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Or in Old Dilly's case, I shoved the tampon up my ass, but why's the color brown? Speaking of advertising, let's talk about how this fucker destroys all the companies that sponsor him. The most notable example of this easily being Bud Light. There's a few things that whole ordeal taught me. Lesson number 1, don't let women market men's stuff. Number 2, using one of the most controversial figures in all of internet history to try to tap into a market that simply isn't there, while at the same time repelling your primary customer bases. Honestly, I am pretty glad that this boycott happened, not just because, well, Bud Light is fucking trash and it's literally piss water, but using Dylan and people like him to sell your products is a death sentence for your brand. Now, some companies haven't learned the memo, but hey, take a look at their stock prices. I still haven't forgotten the Target boycott either, even though he wasn't involved in that one. But going back to when he's advertising women's products for a second, I'd like to give a shout out to the women who actually have a functioning brain and can see right past through all this bullshit. It's some good positive affirmation to know that there are some good ones out there who aren't ideologically compromised by a bunch of fucking communists. Now let's get into the biggest reason why I despise Dylan Mulvaney, and that would easily be the Days of Girlhood grift. First of all, I find it very, very, very concerning that you call your series Days of Girlhood and not Days of Womanhood. It gives a lot of undertones that I can't exactly say out loud here on YouTube. Even knowing the reason why he prefers to call himself a quote-unquote girl instead of a quote-unquote woman, I still have to wonder, what is your fascination with that label? Even though you act childish, like the time when you were prancing around in the fucking woods in high heels and sing really stupid songs like Normalize the Bulge, You're not a child. You're not a 5-year-old girl. You're the exact fucking opposite of that in every single goddamn way. When it comes to someone on the right like myself telling you that you are a mockery of womanhood, we're not being hyperbolic. We're being dead-ass serious here. We have examples of you doing exactly that. I know I mentioned this earlier, but dude, you were fucking frolicking in the woods in high heels. Chicks don't do that kind of shit, and that tells me that your understanding of what a woman is and womanhood as a whole comes from fucking Disney movies. Don't even get me fucking started on the fact that this guy, a male, is carrying tampons around and then goes into a woman's bathroom and just gives them out. Keep in mind that Dylan does not have his Johnson lobbed off. So yes, you could see how very strange that particular incident was. His response to the women calling him a creep was also quite the spectacle to see. Notably, he thinks that every guy who is married or is dating somebody should have a fanny pack on him with tampons inside. Dylan does not understand that married couples and cohabitating couples already have tampons in the house. There's no reason for the guy to have a fanny pack, and there's especially no reason why a guy should have tampons in a fanny pack. But because Dylan is a fucking retard, he doesn't realize that, wouldn't you know, the woman is the one who carries tampons in her purse as like a spare in case there's no dispenser. Ultimately, I firmly believe that this whole series is, to quote Matt Walsh once again, a way for him to engage in his sexual fetish. The reason why I believe this to be the case is that every time I've seen some of his shit, I just get this disgusted, puzzled look on my face of like, what the fuck am I looking at? And because I have a basic sense of pattern recognition, I could tell that this is very much fetish content. Just because it's not on a site like Pornhub doesn't mean that it's not the case. If I were to make a comparison, it's like watching Elsagate content or watching Destiny's ex-wife dance with ABBA. Ultimately, it's astounding to me that someone like him got popular in the first place. Because if we were living in a sane society, we would rightfully mock the ever-living shit out of this guy. As a matter of fact, we did that for hundreds, if not thousands of years, because guys like Dylan have these batshit crazy ideas that are prime for mockery. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get to the conclusion. The reason why Dylan Mulvaney is indeed on my shit list, and rightfully so, is that he's caused a lot of cultural strife due to how promoted he was back in 2021 and how much he got away with too. I'm glad he's fucked off for now, but who knows when he'll be back to say more bullshit, and I'm not looking forward to it either. Anyways, let's see who's next on the shit list. Let's see who's gonna be the season finale for season 2. Oh my goodness. Aren't they relevant as of late? Well, hopefully you guys are going to be looking forward to that. And with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video.